everyone in the room feeling what they were feeling, the tears that were coming down their faces, that all of these things were good emotions. All of these things, like, feel all the feels, feel all the feelings, feel the frustration, feel the disappointment, feel the anger, feel the sadness, feel all of those pieces. These are all emotions that are appropriate right now. And, sit in those emotions and don't be upset by those emotions. And, we'll get to the place later where we can, think about the work that we put in, think about the pride of those feelings.
Welcome to the Business of Parenting podcast. Tune in as we discuss the principles of successful parenting as a business professional. Here's your host, Jason Harris.
If we can't maintain respect, we're never going to get to a place where we can, have positive learning environment, right? Which, and I love the fact that you kind of, this is a great segue actually into, I think, to our next kind of subject, right? Positivity, a positive learning environment. We can only really kind of achieve that if we have kind of a safe place to kind of express those emotions, So it's almost like I need to be able to have a safe place so I can express my emotions. Now, once I've been able to express my emotions, then I can kind of move into this positive learning environment. But to your point, Ian, none of this can happen if there's not this mutual level of respect that's going on both at the parent level and at the kid level. And I think there's a lot of parents that struggle with that. We're like, they're my kids, they should respect me. It's like, well, it's not, we're not trying to put, like parent to kid respect. It's like, no, you mutually respect each other just as people. All right. It's just, and with being people, either small people or large people, we all have to express emotion. And so that's where I want to go with our subject is like right now is like safe place, creating that safe place to express those emotions, I think will lead us closer to having a positive learning environment. But I'd love to kind of get your thoughts on how do we create that safe place and how do we maintain it?
Yeah, I love it. And, I'm a big proponent of, emotional or emotion quotient and that kind of aspect, the EQ of things. IQ, not so much. EQ, I spend a lot of time with that. It's really quite interesting. Like call a spade. I'm a softie. We joke in the Cruickshank family that our kidneys are too close to our eyes, right? So it's whatever kind of emotional situation. I was actually in the hockey rink or lacrosse. It's an indoor box lacrosse that our boys play this time of year. And the boys were working really hard through this tournament. And their season has gone really, really well. Lots of successes, not lots of defeat, not lots of losses. And this group of 11 and 12-year-old boys were shattered by the loss in the bronze medal round. So they had a rough game the previous day. But they were coming back and they were feeling strong about their potential to win the bronze medal. And it was a very tight game. We ended up losing by 1 point and they were just beside themselves. And, there was a lot of talk in the locker room that was really well expressed by our coaching staff. We've got a great plugged in team. And, part of the conversation of the core of the conversation was really around, you should feel proud of the effort that you put in.
Yes.
You should feel proud of working so hard. You should feel proud of all of these things. And when our head coach kind of looks to me to help on the culture side and those sorts of things, it's something that I love in the workplace as well as at home. And he asked me if I had anything to add. And what I added was that everyone in the room feeling what they were feeling, the tears that were coming down their faces, that all of these things were good emotions. All of these things, like feel all the feels, feel all the feelings, feel the frustration, feel the disappointment, feel the anger, feel the sadness, feel all of those pieces. These are all emotions that are appropriate right now. and, sit in those emotions and don't be upset by those emotions. And, we'll get to the place later where we can, think about the work that we put in, think about the pride of those feelings. But it's, I think that kind of encapsulates our parenting style in our family is when kids are upset, it's okay to be upset. When kids cry, it's okay to cry. Mm-hmm. When I cry, it's okay to cry. All of those things, and just enabling that experience, but also helping them to develop the ability to name those emotions, because I think as young people, we go through this process of learning happy, sad, mad, glad.
Yeah, there's nothing in between there.
These typical juxtaposed emotions that are, monosyllabic and really easy to work with and understand. Whereas I'm frustrated. How do I understand frustrated as being different from disappointed? How do I understand disappointed as being different from angry? Those kinds of things, and figuring out what the different pieces are and how to understand how they affect, how they feel, how they impact your body, impact your conversation, impact how you're communicating, all of those different things. Because there's so much to emotion that we need to help them develop.
100%. And as parents, I got to be honest, we have to do the exact same thing.
Yes.
Look, I'll be the first one to admit, look, I had a great childhood. I did, but I was told a lot as a kid to go with the flow. All right. It was when there was big emotions, it was just kind of like let it go and go with the flow. So I learned to kind of, compartmentalize all of my emotions into boxes, so I can just kind of continue to kind of move with the flow. So when I got into the automotive industry, this was great. This was amazing. There's no emotion at all. It's suck it up, buttercup, check it at the door, and get the damn job done. I was like, I took to this like a fish in water. Mm-hmm. I was like, this is amazing, but I realized that wasn't necessarily actually the best way to run a dealership or even to be the manager of it. And I think, you were talking earlier when in our conversation, we mentioned the word COVID, right? And, talk about emotions that even as adults, all of a sudden we had to deal with, and we never had to deal with in the past. I mean, there was legitimate fear. There was fear of, am I going to be able to come back to work? Am I going to be able to get a paycheck? Am I going to be able to still do my job? And I'm the first one to admit I'm not emotionally intelligent. I'm getting better. I truly am. But, to your point, like I need to almost spend the time myself to identify how can I help my little ones, or even how can I help people at my business if I'm not able to identify my own big emotions, mm-hmm. all right, and know, is this a fear? Is this disappointment? Is this legitimate anger? Or is it, and what are the differences there that I don't know if I can necessarily create that safe place? So, I think anybody that's listening or watching that's running a business or have the parents, it's like you always got to take the time to kind of do that for yourself.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business of Parenting podcast with your host, Jason Harris. Don't want to miss new content? Be sure to check out the full podcast library at strategywithjason.com to stay in the know. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Happy podcasting.